Hi, welcome to mediatorpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about mediation, negotiation, and collaboration. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a valuation expert and mediator in St. Louis, Missouri. I actually specialize in divorce and partner disputes. But today we'll discuss divorce mediation and parenting plans or child custody with Michelle Weinberg. Michelle's a licensed marriage and family therapist with over 20 years of experience, but now focuses her practice specifically and solely on divorce mediation in New Jersey. In 2011, she co-founded Westfield Mediation with an attorney, Randy Albert, and she's also a member of the New Jersey Association of Professional Mediators and volunteers at several organizations in her spare time. We are so grateful and happy to have you, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, and I think in divorces, we also see a power dynamic issue. So one spouse may have more control over the money, the finances, or one spouse may have more control over the children's activities and things like that. And in that power dynamic, we've sort of just gone along, so both parties have just like, well, this is how we've done it in the past. Like, we're just going to go along and we'll figure it out. But if you know that there's power dynamics in your situation and you know that in the past you have not been able to enunciate what you want, it is a good time to use that opportunity and say to the mediator, like, what else should I consider? Like, okay, well, what happens if one of you guys get a work out of town? Like, what happens, and even coming up with a list of their priorities. Like, is Christmas always going to be a priority to you and you'd give up Thanksgiving and the other person would take the Thanksgiving every time? Like those types of things. I think this process helps people come off of their, I have to have Christmas every year, right? Because they start to see, is that going to be realistic forever?
Right.
Like, or is there some give and take, right?
And also, cooperation builds upon cooperation. So once they've started to agree about some other things, and they realize that they can work together, they might be willing to get off their position that they're so stuck on with some flexibility, because they realize, okay, maybe I can't have them every Christmas. Maybe the kids won't be with me every Christmas, but I know that if a special Christmas comes up, because we've worked well together, maybe that my co-parent will allow me to have them for that special Christmas, even if it's not my Christmas, because they've had this goodwill sort of built up through cooperation.
But it's also stating the things that are important to you and coming up with that list of things that are really, that maybe you haven't said in the past, but because the reality is, and this is what I tell people, you're going to have the conversation. You're going to have the conversation of whether we continue with hockey or if who's going to pay for the travel team, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to have these conversations, why wouldn't you do it right now? Like, let's just, because sometimes you might identify issues that you didn't, oh, I didn't know you were so concerned about hockey. I thought everybody was on board, because we've all been like placating this already tenuous situation. And so it is an opportunity for people to finally be like, you know what? The kid never liked it. I never liked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the truth starts to come out. So you're creating a plan that's really based on the reality.